Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Imagine More Success radio show. It's the hot new all about you show with successful entrepreneurs and business experts sharing their stories and powerful takeaways while providing you with tips, tools, tactics, and a free weekly gift to help you thrive. Your hosts for the Imagine More Success radio show are the best-selling authors Cindy Hendricks, a certified business consultant, and Thomas Hides, a certified world-class public speaking coach. Check out the Imagine More Success radio show at imaginemoresuccess.net because now's the time to realize your dreams and to imagine more success. Welcome to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. We've had a really wonderful week. We had a really great week working with some technology, Cindy and I did, and we're looking forward to sharing some of our fun stories with you today about technology and how you can actually have some help in your business because, you know, it takes a lot of time and effort and dedication, but especially time, effort, and sometimes frustration to really become an expert in all the different systems of a business. And at a certain point, you're bound to hit a wall. And once you hit a wall, it's time to bring in some help. The idea of the solo entrepreneur is kind of ridiculous, isn't it, Cindy?
I've hit more than one wall.
I think all of us have.
And I would just like to clarify here right now that Thomas is the techno wizard of our partnership, and it actually drains my battery. I'm a creative soul at heart.
Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of the time that we spend in working on the technical sides of the business sometimes are exhausting or frustrating, and it's always awesome when we bring in experts to do the work. We've had a really a lot of excellent help and assistance, and it's made life so much happier and easier. You can hear the smile on my voice probably at this point.
Yes, because you picked the Tesla of platforms, and I'm really excited we have it, but I'm also thrilled that we have you and our technical support to make it work.
Yeah, we're talking about, we've been using Kartra actually, which is kind of an all-in-one solution for sales funnels, which is pretty cool. What we're going to be talking about today, however, is that one of the other big topics in business these days for the entrepreneur, which is getting help from the outside. And so many times, small business owners will they'll most certainly have a hard time getting everything done. And so by taking the advice of other people, very often they'll go out and search out virtual assistants or to find an assistant. And they find out very quickly that that can be a hassle and a problem in and of its own, how to actually find someone to work with you. So today we're actually going to be inviting Nicole Bandes to come to the show. She is the founder and CEO of Virtual A-Team, which you can find at virtualateam.com. Nicole actually thrives on making things easier for others, especially entrepreneurs. And as the founder of the Virtual A-Team, which is a virtual services outsourcing company, Nicole has actually stepped outside of the box and created a unique approach to finding, hiring, training, and even managing virtual teams. She's got over 20 years of business experience, and Nicole knows how to work with service-based business owners to help bridge that gap between virtual assistants and high-end business strategists. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What a pleasure.
Well, this is one of my favorite topics to share, and a fabulous business owner like Nicole, because what would business owners do without support?
You know, it's crazy. I think we get into this idea of being solopreneurs for a variety of different reasons, and and part of that, we get stuck in this idea that part of solo is doing it all on our own, and we so don't have to do it all on our own. There are so many opportunities and ways out there that we can still be in charge of our own businesses and yet get that help and advice and feedback and support that we need.
Well, and Nicole, would you agree that the big secret to doing all the work yourself is that you lose sales?
Oh, totally. I mean, I can't tell you my own personal story of trying so hard because I thought, well, I don't have the sales coming in, so I just need to do all of this stuff on my own. And, I finally realized that it was because I was trying to do everything on my own and I was spending time doing all of these other things that I wasn't spending the time doing the things that I need to make the cash register sing. So once I started letting go of that and allowing other people to do some of those things, or just letting them go for now, then all of a sudden I had to focus on making that money that was going to be able to pay for those things, as well as making my own bottom line increase a little bit. So, yeah.
Well, you must be a quick study, because that is not an easy lesson for most entrepreneurs. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, it's not. But keep in mind, I've been doing this for 20 years. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of our other guests actually mentioned the idea of when you aren't having someone really help you and you are a solo entrepreneur, you find yourself working in your business rather than working on your business. And that's a big change as far as moving from an employee mindset to an owner mindset.
Well, and I think a lot of people, if you think also, Nicole, that they're fearful of spending money when they don't have as much coming in to cover it, to bring people on board, but really it frees the person up who's trying to make the money to be able to go get the sales.
Yeah, there really is a little bit of a mental kind of hiccup that we have to get by, and really overcome some of that money mindset issues that are so prominent in our world, to let go of this idea that they can't afford to do this. A lot of times if they really sit down and really review the numbers, they can't afford not to do this, because it frees them up to do those things that only they can do, whether it's one-on-one coaching or working directly with clients or creating content that they can then turn around and market and sell. All of those great things are things that only they can do. But if they're busy working on websites or doing social media or answering emails, they don't have time to do those other important things.
Exactly. Now, one of the things that I have discovered in trying to find just the right virtual assistant is that you really need more than one. And so what I would love to ask you is, are there any things, because they're so diversified today, are there any things that your company can't provide in a virtual assistant capacity?
And you're right. And it's one of the challenges that I worked hard to overcome when I created Virtual A-Team. It was really about that understanding of that a virtual assistant is generally going to have either a very limited skill set or they're kind of a Jack or a Jill of all trades, but they're not a master at any of them. So they're either going to have a very narrow focus and be really, really good at one or two things, or they're going to have a very broad focus and not good at really, or not great at any of them. And so Virtual A-Team has really tackled that approach, and we work with an entire team. Instead of you having to go out and find a whole bunch of different virtual assistants that are experts in all of these different areas, and then you have to kind of manage and coordinate between all of them. We've sort of taken that approach of being the business managers for you so that we bring the team to the plate. There's very few things that we can't handle for our clients. I mean, we don't do sales calls. We don't do, lead generation from that cold call kind of perspective. And we might recommend to you that you utilize a service that can kind of come in a little bit cheaper. For example, if we're doing transcription stuff, a lot of times you can pay these Ruby services a lot less than you can pay us to do it. But we work with our clients to really bring in the experts that are needed for whatever tools, resources, or skills that they need to have.
Wow.
Well, I have a resource for you because we have a top-of-the-line company that specializes in that which you don't do, and they are kind of pricey, but they also deliver. So let me know if you're interested. We had a great guest on that very topic not long ago.
Very good.
Yeah. Nicole, what do you find is kind of the straw that breaks the camel's back that sends an entrepreneur your way? What do you find most often?
A lot of times it's they've been exposed to certain concepts over and over again, like, oh, you need to have an online course, or, oh, you need to have a better website, or you need to get into doing YouTube or podcasting, whatever. And they realize that if they add one more thing to their plate, all of those plates that are spinning are just going to fall down. They know they want to start a podcast, or they know they want to start a YouTube channel or something along those lines. But one more thing is just too much. And so they're ready to delegate and outsource some of that. And, whereas we generally work with clients that want to delegate more areas of their business, it usually starts with one thing. It usually starts with just the online course or just the social media. And then we talk to them about all of the other things that we can help take off their plate as well. And then they're like, singing our praises.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. So what kind of questions would you tell our listeners to ask someone, the Jack and the Jills that are out there, to determine whether they could use someone like that, or if they should really call you with your full team? What kind of questions should they be asking?
The questions aren't necessarily what they should be asking the VA, other than, what's the approach that the VA takes? Are they really focused on, is the VA asking them questions about what are their goals, what are their ambitions, or is the VA really focused more on what projects do you need done? So it's really kind of a shift between that project focus and the whole business focus. When a VA is really a kind of a typical type of VA, they just want to know, what's the list of tasks that I have to accomplish for you? A business manager is really going to seek out a better understanding of the business as a whole, and they're going to be asking you to tell them about your business. What do you do? What are your products and services? What are your goals and all of that kind of good stuff?
So it sounds like the question...
I'm sorry. A moment. We'll be right back in just a moment on the Imagine More Success radio show.
Patty Conklin grew up in Brooktondale, New York with a unique ability. Unlike others, she could see how the vibration of words and emotions affected the physical body. She discovered how to release stored emotion and facilitate healing. This began today's Conklin method of cellular cleansing. The private practice grew with tremendous results, as did her reputation. More and more people sought her out, bringing her into the home for healing. She soon realized she could even teach this to others, and they could shift perception and thus prevent illness from occurring. Patty Conklin quickly became a frequent keynote speaker, and she developed a curriculum for teaching the Conklin method of cellular cleansing. For more information, visit pattyconklin.com. PattiConklin, PattiConklin.com, or call 404-474-0086. That's 404-474-0086.
Mission Evolution is dedicated to the well-being of the planet and animals, as well as the evolution of humankind. One major factor threatening all three is increasing toxicity. Heavy metals and other environmental toxins are poisoning our bodies, deteriorating our brains, blocking our spiritual connection, and shortening our lives. Yet these poisons are extremely difficult to remove. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, and I recently became aware of a product created from the marriage of nature and nanotechnology called Vitality. It's formulated from zoolite, whose crystalline structure binds toxins, gently carrying them out of the body. The light is only as clear as the window through which it shines. Clear your body, shine your light into the world. Visit vitalityhappens.com for a 20% discount. Enter code PATHHOME.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
You're back on the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. We're so very glad you could continue joining us today. We're speaking with Nicole Bandes, who is the CEO and founder of Virtual A-Team, which you can check out at virtualateam.com. In our previous segment, you were talking about how businesses will often come to you first for a single project, and that then they ended up giving more and more tasks and responsibilities to your company. And also that typically when you find a jack of all trades or Jill of all trades virtual assistant, they are someone who is busy asking you what you need done. Whereas with your company, you are able to take on a task and then maybe go farther, do more, because you have a better understanding of what the entrepreneur's business is really about and how you can help them. Does that really have a lot to do with your group is so focused on getting results rather than just doing tasks?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different kind of mindset. We really are. We look at ourselves as being partners with the business owner. So we are as invested in your success as you are, rather than looking at this more as just a job, which a lot of VAs look at what they do is, this is a job that I do to make money. My business managers work with our clients as, almost as passionate. And that's why we hand select our clients that we work with. We are as passionate about your business as you are. And we really want to make sure that you're succeeding in all ways possible.
I love that.
Well, and it sounds like the question to ask, because, a lot of entrepreneurs haven't been big time interviewers to be able to come up with those questions, but it sounds like the best question would be to ask the Jack, Jill, or company, what questions do you have for me? And then that would give them the answer if they're the right person for them, if they just need task work done, or if they really need a team of people that can do whatever their company needs. Is that right?
Yeah, it really is. And it goes to a different level, because if they're like, oh, I don't have any questions, then you know that they're really not thinking on that bigger picture. One of the resources that I have on my website, free resources on my blog, I've got a few different positions available and a list of interview questions that that you can ask to, whether it's a social media manager, a virtual business manager, a VA, all of those different services. They all have different questions that you're going to want to ask in that interview process. So that's one of the resources that I have available on my website for free.
Great. Well, we'll just put a little thing out there for everybody to listen up, because there's a great gift coming up next segment.
Love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicole, how did you get into this? What kind of need did you feel or did you see in your own life that caused you to move into this direction?
I started out as a productivity coach, and I started coaching on productivity because time was such an important asset for me. My husband and I lost one of our sons about 7 years ago, and when we lost him, we sort of realized the value of time. And we only have so much time in a day, and if we're spent working on the weeds of our business, then we are not spending that time with our family, our friends, or doing those things that we really love to do. And so I wanted to help coaches and entrepreneurs to really regain their productivity so that they had more time. And what the coaches kept telling me over and over again was, this is all great, but I just need to delegate to somebody. I need somebody that can do what I need to do. And so I finally said, well, gosh, darn it, I can do that. And that's where Virtual A-Team was born. And it just kind of it came from that need that my productivity clients really wanted filled.
Wow. It's a very powerful story as well to hear that. I mean, I think that every once in a while, the general public will get, all of us will get this kind of big reminder. And I think, a recent example that seemed to touch so many people that was really shocking to me was the passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, Gigi, and the people that were with them on the helicopter that day. That really seemed to, at least for a short period of time, have people focus on what's important outside of the hamster wheel that they've been on. I saw a lot of that.
Yeah, all of those moments. I mean, some people kind of get upset with them, but I think we do need those constant reminders that life is precious, and it's not until you've really experienced a loss of that for yourself that it becomes an ingrained part of who you are. So those reminders when the celebrities pass or when things like that happen, they do serve as kind of a reminder, a reboot to us to step back and pause and appreciate what we have right now.
Yeah, especially, I mean, yeah, and I think that's really for people who haven't experienced that, with someone that's close to them, then I think that it's easier for them to be deeply connected to someone that they look up to if they don't have that kind of experience. But that kind of experience does really give you tremendous perspective. And, the whole Imagine More Success radio show really is about having the success in your life that isn't just financial or isn't just business. It's really about finding the parts of your life that are important to you and helping you to create a dream, to find a dream, create it, and then to be able to implement it. And where your group and your team really comes into play is that implementation, really helping somebody go from idea and dream to not only getting what they want as far as a business or whatever, but literally having that life experience with the people they care about. And I think that's incredibly powerful. It goes so far beyond that.
Mm-hmm. So, Nicole, do you have a story you can share about how someone came to you and what your team did to help move them along the paths that we're kind of talking about?
I've got so many great stories, and each one of my clients is a little bit different and unique in what they come to me for. Maybe a typical kind of scenario is that coach, because I primarily work with coaches and consultants. And, that coach who came to me, and coaches tend to have such a strong passion for why they're doing what they're doing. And they're frustrated because it's so hard to get out there and spread that message of what they're doing. And it's so hard to, keep all of those balls in the air. And when they come to me and they finally realize that there is a solution to being able to spread their message and get out there and help one more person or two more people and take their business up a level, not necessarily just because of the financial benefit or gain, but because of what that means, that they're making a difference in the lives of more people. That's where the real value comes in. And that's when they, come to me and they're just like, you know what, you just, it's one of those businesses that is definitely full of appreciation, and they're just so grateful to have that, whether it's the new online course or the new website or the new podcast that finally gets to be put out so that they can get their message out to more people.
Well, it sounds like you do have a lot of different things that you work with people on, because that's quite an array.
Yeah, it is. And the benefit to that, again, I don't do it all. I've got a lot of experts on the team that work together to create these amazing things for our clients. And it's because they want that one-stop shop. They don't want to have to be out there managing a different team for each of their different tools. And this way they've got one place that they can go, and that place has their best interest in mind. So if if they decide they want to do a podcast, but they also want to do, write a book, how can we work together and make those two things a reality, as opposed to having to employ two different companies to do two things that maybe could be complementing each other, but they're not working together.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What are some of the advantages of hiring a virtual business management company over just hiring an employee?
Well, certainly with employees, you're having to look at fulfilling their time. You have one person that most of the individuals that I work with are only working with us maybe 5 to 10 hours a week at max. And if you're having to pay an employee, you're going to have to pay them probably a minimum of 20 hours a week. Then you're also going to have to pay benefits and all kinds of other things, and try and find things to fill their time. But if they're not experts in all of these different areas, then again, you're getting that Jack or Jill of all trades, and they're really not great at any of them. So they're going to struggle, and you're not going to get the best possible product. Whereas when you give us 10 hours a week, there's not one individual that's doing that 10 hours. There's multiple individuals that are working for you, so that we have the experts doing the podcast editing, and we have the experts doing the graphic art stuff, and we have the experts doing the admin stuff. And we're utilizing the best skill levels of all of those individuals. So, and if somebody needs to take a vacation, we always have a backup in place. That's something you're not going to get with an employee.
Very, very true. So very true. And speaking of vacation, we want to give you a few minutes of vacation so you can listen to a few words from our sponsors, but we're going to be back in just a moment on the Imagine More Success radio show. Please stay tuned.
Audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzone.tv. www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Join Patty Conklin and Healing Within Radio each week. More than entertainment, Healing Within offers educational, useful tools for everyday life. Listen for help overcoming fear, anxiety, and depression. Patty knows about eliminating cancer, MS, dementia, Parkinson's, and a host of illnesses that we face every day. Life can be good. Life is good. All you need are simple tools to start changing your life. Start right now by visiting pattyconklin.com, PATTICONKLIN. No matter where you are in the world, you can work with Patty through Skype, phone, or in person, visiting one of her retreats in Georgia. Visit pattyconklin.com today or call our offices at 404-474-0086. That's pattyconklin.com or call 404-474-0086.
Coming soon to the X Zone Broadcast Network is A Different Perspective with me, Kevin Randall, as your host. We'll be taking a close look at what is happening in the world of UFOs today with side trips into the paranormal. Guests will range from those who are household names to those who have a different perspective on a variety of topics. No topic will be taboo, but there will be tough questions asked as we all search for the truth about UFOs, the paranormal, and those things that excite us. Sometimes we'll agree with a guest and sometimes we won't, but we'll try to keep the program topical. For those of you who would like to read, be sure to visit www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com and remember to listen to the other fine programs on the X Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. Today we're speaking with Nicole Bandes, who is the CEO and founder of virtualateam.com. We've had some really great conversation around how you can hire a virtual assistant or a group of virtual assistants through her virtual business management system in order to take a huge amount of workload off of you and help you work on your business rather than becoming an employee of your own business. Nicole, there's one big problem that a lot of people seem to run into, and you've addressed this actually in your blog, but people have to find out or figure out, or they need to learn what it is that they need to outsource. How do you recommend someone actually figures that out?
One of the big deals with the difference between a virtual assistant and a business manager, that business manager is really going to help you discover what can be outsourced in your business. They're going to help you set up the strategies. They're going to help you set up procedures and outline all those kind of details. Whereas a virtual assistant is really that employee that's sitting back and waiting for you to tell them what to do. But one of the first things you can really do when you're thinking about it, like, I really want to know what do I need to take to them, is to sit down and evaluate what are you doing in your business on a day-to-day basis right now and write down all of those tasks. Then when you go to interview with your virtual business manager, they're going to be able to help you to determine what of those tasks really make sense to get off of your plate and which ones of those should you be learning how to do on your own. Or, for example, one of the most common questions we get asked is, should I write my own content as a coach or, an expert who's trying to be established? Should I be writing my own content? And that's usually the question we're going to say, yes, if. And that if is, are you the brand voice? Are you the one that is being hired for your level of expertise? And is it possible that that can be outsourced in other ways. Like maybe you have some podcasts or videos, you're doing Facebook Lives, and we can take some of that content and convert it for you. But if you're not producing any content and you are the expert in your business and you are the person that's being hired, then it might make sense for you to learn that craft first before you begin to outsource it. But then there's other things that you totally don't need to learn how to do. You do not need to learn how to send out an email to your clients. You do not need to learn how to develop a website. You can outsource that stuff without needing to know how to do it.
Love that.
It's music to Cindy's ears.
Yes.
But I also have to tell you that I was chuckling when you were mentioning that about outsourcing your content, because Thomas and I would probably blow a gasket if we did that.
Absolutely. And there are some people that this is their comfort zone and their happy place, and they should continue to do those things that are in their happy place. And there's control issues. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are all in solopreneur road because we love to do the things that we love to do, and nobody can do it better than we can. Trust me, I get it. I hear it all the time. So, look at those things that you don't enjoy doing and that you don't feel you could be great at doing on your own, and outsource some of those things first.
Well, I have to share that the first business I managed with a staff of only 10, I was in my 20s, and I didn't want to delegate anything because nobody can do it as good as we can, right?
Oh, yes. I hear that all the time.
And so then my next business was 20-some people, and I had to learn how to delegate and feel good about it. And I finally did, because at one point I managed over 200, and I'd be dead by now if I didn't.
Yeah. And, we help a lot of our clients through that process of learning how to let go. If you tend to be a micromanager, I probably am not going to be a good fit for you. But if your issue is more, it's a struggle to learn how to let go of some of those things, then a lot of times we can help walk you through that process and get more comfortable with that. Again, I come from a little bit of a coaching background. So, my team has a little bit of that. Hey, we can hold you accountable. We can walk you through the process. We can get you comfortable with what everything's supposed to look like.
Well, I can share that once you get that delegation thing down, boy, then you go kind of crazy and want to delegate everything.
That's true, too.
Yeah, I think that's a really unique perspective and skill set that you bring to this as well, Nicole, that you do have that coaching background, that you're able to work with the person rather than just like you're talking about, just working on the tasks. You're working with the business owner and helping them take steps and strides forward because you've got that big perspective, and that's invaluable.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of delegating, can you share with us that special gift you have? I can't wait to see it myself.
Yeah, and I have a brand new, I just launched it about 2 weeks ago, I think. I have a brand new quiz that's available, actually. And this is a quiz that's going to help you determine if you are ready, if your business is ready. Because trust me, if you're overwhelmed, you're ready to outsource. But the bigger question is your business ready to outsource? And this quiz will take you through, it's 7 short questions, take you through determining whether or not your business is at the stage where you're ready to begin outsourcing and what that might look like for you. Because outsourcing at the very beginning stages is going to be very different than outsourcing once you are ready to bring on a bigger team.
That makes complete sense. The other thing
now
that
you
really...
want to know what the link is, right?
Yeah, if you would.
That would be helpful.
Actually, virtualateam.com/IMS radio. You can go there and you can sign up to get Nicole's complete guide as well as a quiz.
Absolutely.
Now, you did mention to those listeners out there that you would be able to, you have some jobs open or some positions open within your company. Was that right?
Yeah, I do periodically hire the right individuals. I'm always taking and looking at applications, and because I'm always expanding the business, if the right application comes across my desk at the right time, then I'm looking for video editors. I'm looking for individuals that are, that do have that business management sense. All of that good stuff is available on my website too.
Great.
Cool. So yeah, if you want to get the ultimate guide to delegating, as well as the free quiz that helps you know when you're ready and how ready you are, if you don't know already, to start down the path of getting some assistance in your business, go to virtual18.com/IMS radio, like Imagine More Success Radio, and you can get that there. Nicole, quick question for you as well. We were talking earlier, you were talking about one of your favorite books. It's called Procrastinate on Purpose. Tell us a little bit about that book. I've never heard of it, but it's got a fascinating title.
Yeah, if this was the book I would have written had I written a productivity book. And this is by Rory Vaden, and it's been out for a few years now. And really the emphasis in this book is about being conscious of the choices that you're making with your time. So rather than doing things just on the fly, willy-nilly, you're making deliberate choices. And I think that is the biggest, most effective way that you can be more productive personally, is to really intentionally choose how you're spending your time.
Yes.
I like that. How to intentionally plan your time and spend your time.
You know, and did you find also, does he talk also about the intentionality of money as well? Or does he focus primarily on time?
You know, I mean, he uses the analogy of money and how, you know, it's an investment. It's an investment of time. It's an investment of money. You know, and so it really kind of talks about how utilizing your time more effectively is going to benefit financially, but he also just uses that overall analogy of how time is money and how to kind of cross between the two.
Fascinating. Nicole, where do you see yourself in the evolution and growth of your business, say in 5 years?
You know, I am loving the idea of living the laptop lifestyle and having a business that I create around my life instead of having a life that I create around my business. And, you know, and it's all about building the team that can go out and do the work when I'm enjoying my life. And, you know, I'm trying to still talk my husband into that RV. And if we get out on the road with the RV, and then I can check in as I need to, but yet be out there and helping more and more people have the time so that they can do the things that matter the most.
Yeah, is it something that you've always wanted to do, or is that something, that kind of wanderlust, is that something that you've kind of developed as you've seen your life take shape and kind of move in a different direction?
You know, I've always sort of had a little bit of the wanderlust, and as my husband wraps up his business and begins to look at retirement, it becomes an easier opportunity then, because he's got a little bit more less virtual of a business, whereas mine is more virtual. So I can travel and do all the fun things and just connect into the cloud and get my work done. He needs to be more physically located. So it's the right time now as he wraps up his and my business grows, and I'm going to get him hired and working in my business for me.
I love it.
That's the way to roll, girl.
Yeah, that's a great plan.
So what would you say, working with all these people to help others in business, do you think is the number one thing that most entrepreneurs need to look at to improve their business and or lifestyle?
The number one thing they need to look at, it's...
You know what, Nicole, we'll actually give you a little bit of a break to come back and answer that question. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. If you want to listen to some past episodes of the Imagine More Success radio show, to get some more free gifts and learn from other entrepreneurs, go to imaginemoresuccess.net. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by L.A. Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world, interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hides' life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
Thank you so much for staying with us on the Imagine More Success radio show. We've had a really wonderful day today. We've been talking with Nicole Bandes from virtualateam.com. We've been learning all about not just virtual assistants, but hiring a virtual business manager who can help to actually manage and to inspire the virtual assistants that are going to be making a big difference in your business. In the previous segment, we kind of left you with a little bit of a cliffhanger, like one of those 1980s sitcoms.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to find out what's the top thing that really makes the biggest difference for an entrepreneur, a business owner, once they hire you? What is it that really makes the difference?
And I think one of the number one areas business owners, solopreneurs struggle with is the area that they come to us the most for, and that's marketing. So it's not a lot of people's natural happy place to do marketing, whether that's social media or a newsletter or whatever the case may be. They struggle with the marketing piece, putting themselves out there and really being able to bring in the leads. And that's what we love to do. We love to help and kind of craft some of those marketing messages and really strategize what's the best way to market the products and service that you have. So again, for every one of our clients, it's a little bit different, but helping them come up with some strategies and then implementing those once they can see that their message is getting out there without them having to do all the social media work is so amazing for them. They just love it.
And do you find that with all the new social media marketing and all the different venues that are available to us today with the internet as it is, that adds another complication?
It's not just all of the new sites that are coming out, but it's the fact that even the old sites are changing almost on a daily basis. So, I'll have a client that comes to me and they says, well, what was working for me last year isn't working today. Yes, that's true. And unless social media or marketing is your full-time job, you're not staying up on the latest trends. And therefore, you may not be pivoting your marketing message in a way that's going to continue to get that lead and that attention. So having a team in place that is following the trends and that can go back to you and say, well, this is what you were doing, but I think we need to kind of pivot and change over to doing this. And here's why, and really pay attention to those things, takes so much off of their plates that they might not have been doing it in the first place and not getting the results.
Exactly, no results.
It takes so much time to keep up with all that stuff.
Yes, and so which platform do you think has been the most effective for your clients? This would be a great nugget for those looking for a company to be able to do this for them.
Yeah, and that is such a loaded question. I'm going to use the canned response. It depends. I have some clients that are thriving on LinkedIn because their business is really geared towards the professional market. And then there's other clients that are thriving on Instagram because they tend to be more towards that millennial or Gen Z type audience. And then, there are some that are still thriving on Facebook or YouTube. And so it really depends. And we dive deep in with an individual. And again, this is why we take that big picture approach rather than just sitting back and saying, oh, you want us to do Instagram posts? Okay, well, by the way, this isn't going to attract your audience whatsoever, but you're telling us to do it, so we'll go ahead and do it. We really take that bigger, broader approach.
Mm-hmm. So let's give our audience a couple of tips on what you could do for them, because let's take the professional group on LinkedIn. What would you be doing for them? Creating ads or posts or both or something else?
Yeah, with LinkedIn, it's a very unique strategy. The social part of LinkedIn really is almost in those one-on-one conversations that you're having in the messages. And that doesn't mean that you're going out and sending out a bunch of spam messages, but there's a very strategic way that you can engage your audience via the messages platform on LinkedIn and send them one-on-one conversations and get them engaged in that, so that when you are ready to offer them a strategy session or share with them your opt-in or something along that lines, you've already built up a little bit of that know, like, and trust. You can actually utilize virtual service people to do this because you've already created kind of a messaging system that you're sending out. So it doesn't have to be you initiating those conversations, but you step in once it gets to that level of, okay, we can't really answer those questions anymore, and they're really engaged. They want to have a conversation with you. That's when the business owner steps in and starts taking over the conversation.
Mm-hmm. And so to do an effective campaign, say with a LinkedIn like you described, how many hours a week would you consider to be effective for a client?
That depends on how quickly they want to get results. But generally speaking, most of our clients, something like that, we're doing 2 to 3 hours a week. Some of them do a little bit slower and less. They're not reaching out to quite as many individuals on a regular basis. And some of them, I've had one client where we were doing 40 hours a week because they just really had a very long list.
Wow.
And a very strategic process they wanted to do. But most of our clients kind of fall in the 2 to 3 hour a week range for that.
And so for that type of list, can you let listeners know how many people they should have in their LinkedIn contact list?
We usually will start out with just the contacts, and that can be, maybe 500 contacts. But once we exhaust the regular contacts, then we have methods for determining who should we be reaching out to initiate new connections with. And, finding those individuals that might be in your target audience and how to look for them and initiate that conversation that way as well.
Cool. Well, listeners, this is a great way to get some new clients. So you might want to check out Nicole's bevy of people to help you with either LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube.
Nicole, in your experience, what's the thing that most entrepreneurs really crave when they come to you and they have that wonderful experience? What is it that they finally get?
They get out of overwhelm. That's probably the biggest statement that I get is that they're overwhelmed, they're exhausted, they don't feel like they're making the forward momentum that they need to, and by hiring us, they regain that time. But more importantly than just the time, because a lack of time, a lot of times it's a mental thing. We are so exhausted that even if we have the time to maybe sit in front of the TV or collapse on the bed, we're so exhausted that we can't appreciate even our downtime. So it's regaining that sense of organization and forward momentum, and just knowing that everything's being taken care of. So it's, kind of that, oh, yes, thank you, kind of. That's what they're getting.
That, I think that's something that I've heard so many times over and over again. That's an issue, and even with I think Cindy and I can attest to that as well. There's times we felt overwhelmed, times we've been exhausted when it comes to, we find ourselves working in the business rather than on it, and that it really is a big shift. I mean, once you get out of that level of exhaustion and overwhelm, your business can really flourish. I mean, that's when the magic happens.
Imagine success.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I always remember something that my grandmother told me when I get to that point. And she said to me, and actually this is in my quotes book, Cindy, tired is in your mind. And if you think you're tired, you're going to be tired. So stop it.
I love that, by the way.
I know. And here, I was in my first apartment, 18 years old, and she was on her hands and knees with the carpet, and we were painting, and she even wanted to do some wallpapering, and I was sitting on a little stool. She says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm tired. I'm taking a break." But I was a full-time college student, working a full-time job, had a part-time job on top of that. And so whenever I'm tired, that always gives me the strength to carry on.
And I think as solopreneurs, we tend to have this desire to burn the candle at both ends. And we think that we have to work harder and longer and more. And there's quotes out there that talk about, entrepreneurs work 80 hours doing things they love so they don't have to work 40 hours doing work for somebody else and those kind of things. And I think that mentality is sabotaging us because we're exhausted thinking we do have to do more and more and more. And if I'm not working 80 hours, then I'm not going to be successful. When I'm really here to kind of say, I'm growing a thriving business working less than 20 hours a week. It can absolutely be done. And it's a choice. It's choosing how you want to spend that time.
And now we know how to do that with hiring the right people.
That's right.
Nicole, thank you so very much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure having you on with us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I do want to end with a little quick story here as well. I was at a conference in Hawaii at Marshall Thurber, Marshall Thurber's Business and You conference, and I met someone who was extraordinarily wealthy at an event afterwards, and I said, what's one thing that you can tell me that most people think is true that isn't? He said, most people think that I work hard. He said, the key to my success has been laziness. I've spent all of my time trying to figure out how I could get other people to do work for me, and that's the key to my success. And I think that fits in perfectly with what you've been talking about today, and really kind of just sums it up. And we want to thank you so much for joining us today. If you want to go back and listen to some really fun episodes, go to imaginemoresuccess.net, where every single week and every single episode has a free gift as well, where you can have a chance to interact with the knowledge base as well as the actual entrepreneurs and business experts on the show. And we want to invite you to check out findhiddenmoney.com, where you can learn some of the invaluable tips, tools, tactics, and skills that you can use to create more income in your business. Check out virtualateam.com to learn more about Nicole Bandes' business as well and how they can help you thrive. And we want to remind you to realize your dreams and to imagine more success.